you guys feeling on this wireless technology? Well, let's do a quick review to find out. Number 1, a user states that they have a poor wireless signal. From the RSSI, which of the following transmission levels is considered poor? Answer would be C. I know a lot of you are like, well, of course, that's poor. That's not poor. That's dead. If you're into the negative 80 to negative 100 dBm, I mean, you're pretty much unusable. You can't get a wireless transmission at that point. This is almost too good. It's almost too loud because you're sitting right on top of the wireless access point. This is a solid. This is, I would say, a good signal where you can expect very little loss on your transmission. This one right here is where you are tiptoeing into that poor area. And you remember that when we're working with dBm, increasing these numbers is not like, it's not like 61 is, 1/60th worse than 60. I mean, essentially every, 2 or 3 dBm that you increase, or I should say decrease as we go further negative, represents a multiplier, essentially twice as bad as it was before. So a negative 62 or negative 63 is literally double as bad as 60. A negative 65 or 66 is about double as bad. And I'm using rough numbers because there's a ton of math behind this that makes this calculation. So when you're comparing a negative 60 to a negative 65, it's almost as though there's no comparison. And this moves from it's okay-ish to quickly poor to quickly, you're losing dropping signal as you get closer to that negative 70. Question 2. On the typical 2.4 gigahertz frequency, which of the following do not overlap? Answer: A, C, and E. That combination of 3 channels are the 3 completely separate channels on the frequency spectrum. Now, you remember that channels is a human-friendly word that we use to describe ranges of frequency. And when they designed the 2.4 gigahertz frequency, they said, okay, well, channel 1, and technically you should actually draw it like this, because the frequency that they give you for that channel is the mid-band, meaning it's in the middle of it. It'll go about 10 to the left, 10 to the right in terms of frequency range. Then we have R2, R3, essentially that does this and overlaps heavily. So you never want to have a 1 and a 3 where they can see each other, because that will be some heavy interference with them. Whereas 1, 6, which would be right about there, and 11 are the true clean frequencies that can coexist without causing interference. Question 3. Which acronym best describes the multiple WAPs broadcasting one SSID? If this question is the hardest for you, you're just like me. If there's one thing I hate, it's terminology. I'm like, I know what it does. I understand. I can configure it. But if you ask me to remember, exactly what term is used where, I die. And or what does each one of these stand for? And the reason I die when I hit these kind of questions is I'm like, it just doesn't matter. The concept is the key. The term is just. But you got to pass the certification exam, right? So what we've got first off is a BSSID. That is not the correct answer in this case. But what this is a basic service set identifier. This is when each wireless access point is sending out its broadcast, right? And it's saying, hey, here's the SSID. Now, it's not the same thing. The SSID, which is the network name, right? Which is not unique. You'll have multiple WAPs broadcasting the same SSID, all the same name, right? That everybody can join. However, when the computer behind the scenes joins the wireless access point and says, hey, I choose you, it will select it by its basic service set identifier, which is more of a MAC address format than it is a network name. Now, again, you and I don't see that because it's hidden behind that SSID, that network name. But that is not what we're looking for in this case. The answer is actually B, the extended service set. The extended service set represents all of the wireless access points, the service set that they comprise in broadcasting that one SSID. A basic service area is the area covered by one wireless access points and all the characteristics about it. What channel is it using? What level of power is it using? Et cetera, et cetera. And lastly, the basic service set is essentially this in one wireless access point. Again, it's not just the area, it's more of the, call it the technical characteristics behind the services delivered by that one wireless access point. And that should give you your high-level design of a basic wireless network. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.